Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and if you haven't guessed it already, the AAP-01 is going to be our next custom build that we do on the channel. I'm going to be documenting everything that I do to this thing, and you'll have seen already, I've posted a video of how to strip and reassemble this thing, and we do have a lot of parts. So everything from Hadron high torque screws to the Hadron Loki hop unit, which I'm very interested about. We've got Flamingo 50 Slide Mechanics booking, we have cow bolts, we have selector racking grips there for the back of the bolt there. Not too sure on the name of that, I'm pretty sure it's probably on there. Charging handle, that's the one. Aluminium nozzle block for AAP-01s. We've got short stroke kits from cow. We've also got a short stroke kit from Hadron. We've got a maple leaf crazy jet barrel, which is going to go in there. Aluminium upper, aluminium barrel, grip kits. But most importantly, and the most expensive thing that I'm going to do to this thing is in this box. So not only will this be the most significant thing in which this whole build is centered around, not only will this boost performance, consistency, power, rate of fire, it'll also get rid of this magazine. And I'm going to be getting rid of the gas magazines, and I'm going to be using something like this. And it almost looks like an AEP type magazine, but there is a difference, and we're going to get into that. So the Infinite kit is made by a company called JVS of Custom. Hope I've got that right. And I have already had this out of the packet, so it's probably not as presented as it would be if you bought one. And you can buy these kits on their own. They do them for WE gas blowbacks. They also do them for the AAP series. There is a kit that you can buy on their website, JVS of Custom. I think they're in France. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which you purchase it, and it comes with a CTM Ruger lower receiver. And the way this kit normally is, on a Glock you have to sort of drill and put screws into the frame which aren't already there. However, with the AAP set, with the Ruger lower, it can literally just be inserted, and two screws, different length screws than what comes with the lower, can be screwed in to this conversion set, and that will just give you HPA. And the great thing, and the reason why I've gone this way with this build, is I can have HPA, but it doesn't interfere with the way that the magazines are, so I haven't got a HPA tap each magazine, and also it will still retain its original appearance. So this will power the gun, that comes up and performs like a normal gas blowback style magazine, but instead of having like a big M4 mag, which I'll be honest with you, I don't like the look of, you put these magazines in. They're all about 30-35 rounds off the top of my head. I'll get an exact figure for you, but they weigh hardly anything. And you can obviously fit a lot of these in your kit. I got the one with the extended base plate because it holds more rounds, and when this is all installed it will meet up properly. But let's get to installing this thing. So you can buy the kit with the black Ruger style lower here. It's like a 2245 style lower. But then going down the many rabbit holes that you do, and I could come back to this and do a sort of polymer style build. But I purchased, it's weird how I bought a CTM lower that came with the kit that comes in a CTM box. However, if you buy the same CTM lower from a company in the UK, you just get it in a plastic bag. And of course I've used the wood style grips there, so I'm going with something a bit Hitman-ish, I suppose you could call it. But the amount of parts that we're going to have for this thing, we might even be able to build two of these pistols. So what we're going to do, we're going to get straight into building this thing. We're going to strip down the lower receiver because we're going to have to convert everything over to the new one, and we'll do that first. So I'm going to take off the upper here. We're going to remove the safety by pushing down these tabs, and then it will just push out. This safety doesn't actually work with the new Ruger style lowers, so let's pull that out. There was a question in the last video about what this is that I'm using here. This is a kinetic driver. It was built by the guy behind Jacko Whatever. He's a YouTuber. He initially made the Maker knife, and I didn't actually buy this. This was actually gifted to me by a very close friend of mine. So we're going to pull out the main screw, and we're going to pull out the 2 side screws in the front here. We're also going to punch out these pins. Now they are loose on this lower. I'm going to pull 1, 2 and 3. First of all, we're going to pull the hammer assembly out, and all we're going to do is we're going to start it off here by just putting a flathead underneath the back there. Pulling it out, the button will fall out. We also need the spring off the back here. And we can pull the hammer assembly out. If you get stuck at this part, all you need to do is pull the trigger, and it will let the arm come higher up. I'm going to place that hammer assembly to one side, and we're going to pop the rest of the inner workings out. And if you are careful, you can pull it out like so, and we can take the lower here, which I do need to remove that screw. I think it's a 1.5. It's weird, is this lower came with a little screw like that, but this one just came as is with a bigger hole. So there's obviously some difference there in the lowers that they do. I'm going to take this assembly, I'm going to slot it into the lower receiver here. We'll use the screw that's come with the grip because it's obviously a little bit different. Just going to loosely put that in there. We're going to switch back to the 2mm and take 2 side screws. Are these all the same size? I think they might be. Seem to be. Put 1 and 2. Snug those up there. Back to the 1.5. Snug that one down, not too tight of course. I'm going to take the trigger pin, I'm going to pop this into place here. So make sure everything's lined up. Pop it in the side, and luckily it is a little bit tighter than the standard lower. Make sure everything's centered there. There we go. It's in nicely. What we'll do is we'll pop the mag release in, because we do need to steal the mag release spring from the standard lower, like so. If I'm running through this disassembly a little bit too quick, you can watch the full disassembly guide on the channel. I'm going to place that spring in there like so. Make sure it sits out of the way. Pop the magazine button in like so. And we're going to place the spring back onto the mag release button. Like that. Make sure it's firmly in place. think it's just a little bit stuck. Just pop that back off there. You just have to make sure this spring is seated all the way down. Just test it with the standard mag. A little bit sticky on the silver lower compared to the black one, but I'm sure it'll wear in. We take the hammer assembly, we pull the trigger, it will lever that bar up, and we can pop the hammer assembly in. The lower is a lot tighter compared to the black one. Pop this spring on there, pop the button on, take the rear pin. All the dimensions on this lower seem tighter than the black Ruger lower, so I am wondering if there is a difference if you're ordering these from the UK distributor, which is of course Airsoft World. We'll pop the bottom pin in. And that is just literally a simple lower transferal. We'll just do a function check. Which is fine. And you do have to do a bit of a modification on the hop unit itself here. So on this flat edge, which normally meets up with the magazine, you have to take about 1 millimeter off that surface. If you don't do that, then the Infinite Kit magazines will stick and they won't drop out under their own weight. So all I did was I was filing it down, put it all back together, and I was just checking at the time. And then when this is like all seated in, that's the way it will look. So now with the Infinite Kit installation, what we want to do, we take a 2mm Allen key, we remove the side panels, and if this is a standard CTM lower, these will be black. Top one, bottom one, just remove that because it'll get in the way. Top one and bottom one. We take the Infinite Kit, we slide it into the lower, and this will just slide into the rear part of the lower as well. I'm starting to think there's a difference in these lowers because the last one just popped straight in. Yeah, so it looks like there's a modification here. And it looks like they've channeled the rear section of this grip out ready for you. So what we'll do for intensive purposes, we'll put this into the black lower just so I can show you exactly how this kit installs, and then we'll carry on with the video. So we'll do a so everything was relevant to what I've done there. All I've done is just transported everything over to here with the magic of video editing. So everything's installed as where we got up to, and all we do is where we're going to take this in, they've just channeled the grip out there so it's ready for you. So that just pushes into place. We're going to remove the standard grip screws, and they send you some with the kit. You want to put the longer of the 2 screws in the bottom and the shorter of the screws that they provide in the top. And this is going to secure the Infinite kit into place on both sides of the grip. There's no cutting you need to do. So what I would probably say is if you're ordering this kit from them, make sure you order it with the grip because it's already pre-cut and pre-done. It's just going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. You're still going to have to modify the hop unit. However, the kit itself is going to just slot straight in. Put this screw in there. It doesn't take long to do at all. So those are the screws in, and you'll see that supplies the air as what a normal gas magazine would. And as we slip in these cool looking AAP mags, that's where the round feed comes from. You can see the fit and finish is a lot nicer as well. Now when you buy the kit from them, you'll get the grip, a bare bones grip with the button but no spring, and you'll get the Infinite kit as well. It does not come with the HPA line adapter. This is obviously a US version because it's for the regulator that I'm going to use. And you also don't get the magazines. Now this to me is a bit annoying because the kit in itself is about 310 euros. Then you've got to add the fitting, then you've got to add the mags, which are about 30-35 euros each. So it is not a cheap kit at all. However, once you've done that, we can put the upper on, back to stealth mode or black. And you can see there's no magazine in the gun. For this demonstration, I'll just be using like an old HPA tank, which I've got on a Wolverine Category 5 regulator. Like so. Pop that down there. And then as we connect the airline, see, I'd recommend making sure it's cocked before you do so. That is now supplying air to the gun. So we have no magazine in the gun. The gun can't fire a BB. However, super snappy. We can press the magazine release up and lock it back. Otherwise, it will just keep cycling. And this is what you gain with this HPA conversion kit, is you still retain bolt lock hold open on empty. And this is just the pressure coming out of the tank is currently at 80 psi. So this is just 80 psi. Everything else is bare bones stock, and this is what the full auto. Here is what it was like on a gas mag, and here is what it's like with the Infinite kit. And it just shows no signs of slowing down whatsoever, and that's the consistency you get out of the kit. And this is going to be great because of this. If you had a ton of mags, you could probably use it as a primary. These guns do perform really, really well. This one's going to perform even better once we get the Hadron Loki hop unit in there, the Cyber Mechanics Flamingo booking, and a Maple Leaf Crazy Jet barrel. We will find out, and I'll do a bit on that when I install this Loki hop unit, whether you need to modify it just like the standard hop unit. I'm hoping we don't, but it does look like there's a lower amount of metal on there compared to the standard hop unit. But if so, if we have to modify it, fair dues, we'll just trim that off a little bit just so it doesn't stick the mags. Like I say, these are like 32 round magazines. They do have slightly lower capacity magazines which have the shorter base plates on, but I think the extended base plate does look really good. And this is how I'm going to run it. I'm going to get a bunch more of these mags. Just bear in mind, and I do stress this kit does not come with these magazines. So if you buy this kit from JV Airsoft Custom with the grip, you'll get it in the box, you'll fit it all, and you'll go, right, I can't use it. I need to buy these separately. And they do state this on the website, but I think it is a bit of a cop-out with how much the kit costs. So that is a video how to install your JV Airsoft custom Infinite kit for the AAP-01 by Action Army. And this kit is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's very well made. There's a lot of 3D printed parts, and what I do like as well is they open source all these parts, so you could print the followers and the tops, the feed lips of the magazine. They offer the files out, so you can literally just produce as many as you want. So spares, you're not going to have to get these parts from them. You can just print them on your printer at home, and I think that's a very good, it almost makes up for not putting a mag in there. It just means part support, and longevity wise you can print your own spares. Once you have made this conversion, you can't use both. That kit is installed in there, it's not coming out, and that's part of the beauty of how it's put together. So you can't then go and use a gas magazine. Like I say, you've got the shorter mags, you've got the longer mags, and they also do a magazine which has a little MP5 adapter here. So if you want to get a bit more shooter, you slot that in, and then you can just put an MP5 mag in the bottom. Obviously you won't have the bolt hold open on empty with that adapter that they sell. But if you want to do a bit more shooty and you don't want to limit yourself to 30 odd rounds, then you've got that adjustability as well. I think, in my opinion, this is probably the best way to run HPA in any pistol, and you can get this kit for WE, the Glock series as well, like the 19s and the 17s. Check them out. I'll put the link in the description below to their website. Give them a quick look, and thank you very much for tuning into this video. We'll see you in the next one, where we install one of these really nice upgrade parts, and we'll get this build rocking and rolling.